you just abandon any precaution. You know, folks, something can happen here, and if it does, so what?
Hey friends, welcome to Nathan for Us, a Nathan Fielder fan podcast. My name is Kelly.
And hi, I'm Megan.
And we should probably first address the elephant in the room, which is that if you've seen the title of this episode, we are talking about something that is not a Nathan Fielder project today, but something that we felt was in the spirit of Nathan Fielder.
Yeah, it's a little silly, a little goofy, and Nathan doesn't have that many projects that we haven't already talked about, quite frankly. We've talked about him a lot.
Yeah, we really enjoyed doing the rehearsal where we got to talk about stuff in real time. So we figured that with the season 2 of Jury Duty coming out right now in different batches of episodes, and it again being similar to Nathan Fielder type of shenanigans, we thought that we would talk about Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat.
Yes, and then we will go back and do how to. So don't worry. But just while it's coming out live, we thought that it would be fun.
Yeah. Should we also talk about what we were doing while we took a little hiatus?
I thought that was the elephant in the room. I was like, we came back so much faster than last time. I was like, we were so speedy, actually.
I mean, I feel like people will be more confused about the show choice than like really being like, oh my God, where are you? Like, if you guys know, if you know, the real heads know, like we're around, we're on social media, like we're out there, we're doing stuff.
Accessible.
Yeah. Like people follow me on Letterboxd, I think. So they saw me watching one battle after another.
Okay, that was a really good movie. But yeah, I guess we've already discussed that quite a bit. We were saying that everyone goes through the same journey where they're like, oh, Leo's back. Oh, he's kind of creepy. Oh, the women he dates are way too young. Like, that guy needs to, like, get out of here. And then he has a few scenes where you're like, oh my gosh, he's the most incredible actor I've ever seen. He's incredible. He needs to be in every movie. So that's the journey that I personally went on.
Yeah, not unlike the journey of people listening to this podcast. They're like, oh, they're
dating
way
too young.
Little wiser, dating too young. And then they listen a little and they're like, you know what? Best podcast ever.
Totally. Yeah, very relatable to Leonardo DiCaprio. Just so similar.
Do you want to talk about what else we've been up to? I guess it's been like maybe 3 months since we recorded.
Yeah, we had Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. It was
Happy
lovely.
New Year.
Hope you've been sticking with some of your resolutions. We both started taking classes. So Kelly took a creative writing class, which was very exciting. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about it and maybe hit us with one of your favorite short story ideas?
Yeah, I did take a creative writing class for the last couple months. It was so much fun. I took like an intro class. If anyone's thinking about doing something like that through any kind of like continuing education, I would highly recommend it. The one I took was through U of T and it was in person. So I actually had to go every week to meet this group of people and we workshopped stories. And it was just such a cool experience. I took some creative writing in university, but never something this intensive, I would say, where like you actually had people critiquing your work in real life. Like you have to sit there and read something and then people have to tell
Say
you
it to my face.
Yeah, literally. It's like, don't be a fucking coward. Tell me what you think. Yeah, my only issue now is like I have all these stories. I don't know what to do with them. So if anyone, is into short stories or knows like what I could do with these short stories, I am just sitting on a bunch of short stories that I'm like, oh, these are fun, but yeah, I don't know where to go with them.
And I feel like they're really good and really creative. So if you ever decide what you want to do with them, or even if you want to share them, or I think at the very least, you should just like post them somewhere, or you could do like a little book that's like a collection of short stories. I feel like they're all really fun and unique and like very full ideas. So I feel like that was a very interesting thing that I got to still hear about.
Yes, I did. I didn't use Nathan Fielder, sadly, but I did maybe.
Yeah.
I was inspired a little with a couple of my characters, I will say.
Lots
but
of
tell the
youths.
people what you were up to.
Yeah, I'm in firefighter school. I don't know why. I don't know. I was just feeling a little incompetent and thought that this would be a good way to become like a more competent human being. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll be a volunteer firefighter. I'm not sure. I'm still working full time. And now we're doing this podcast. But yeah, I've been studying that. And then there's a physical test you have to do. So if anyone has tips, they are welcome. So I've been doing CrossFit. I've been joining the CrossFit cult, and it's been a little bit scary, but everyone there has been really nice. And so I've been trying to do that consistently. And yeah, it's just been a really busy few months, I think, for both of us, trying to like pursue some new hobbies and just see what else is out there. And then we love the podcast. So of course we wanted to come back and make sure that that was still something that we could come and chat about and just, watch a show. We are also, of course, watching Survivor. So You're welcome for not just making this a Survivor podcast, because that would have been really fun and really easy to do. Because it's a very exciting season, very dramatic. So if you are watching, it is season 50. And for whatever reason, to add to the excitement, to hype it up, they are including a lot of celebrities, and a lot of viewers are making decisions. They had put out a bunch of options for how the season could go that people voted on. Did you vote for anything?
No, I do vote for everything else. But I'm going to be honest, the Survivor voting fell pretty low on my priority list. So I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't vote on the season, but did you vote for stuff?
No, I didn't vote on the season. I didn't even realize it was happening until the show came out.
Yeah, I certainly didn't vote for like a 25-minute Zach Brown segment, which is what happened last week.
So my point is, so if you are someone who does not watch Survivor, because I've tried to convince some people to watch Survivor who haven't seen it or are new to watching it, and they're like, what on earth is happening? There's like a Billie Eilish boomerang idol. Like Zach Brown has shown up for a reward. I know Mr. Beast is coming on. So I don't know if they're trying to appeal to a younger audience to try to get more viewers or what is happening, but it's a very weird season.
Yeah. We can maybe like discuss some Survivor takes too, along the way or at the end if we want as well. Though I think we're both like enjoying everything except for the celebrity cameos.
Yeah, Jeff rapped for a while, which was weird. Because, okay, you would think that watching Nathan For You would have trained us to not be embarrassed, like to not personally feel embarrassed by anything on TV anymore. But man, that was a really hard watch. Watching Jeff rap was maybe the worst I've felt in a very long time.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit confused by where are Jeff's friends? Like, why aren't they stopping him from doing this? Like, why is production just like, yeah, Jeff, like you gotta rap? Like, there's no person who is standing on that beach who should have been rapping less than Jeff. Like, I would have rather heard Coach rap.
The other thing is, like, these are returning players. A lot of the contestants at that point have known Jeff for years. And maybe it would have been, like, definitely someone on his team, or he himself and his family should have known better. That the whole family would be embarrassed. But I cannot believe not a single person had the courage to be like, come on, that was a little lame. That was not so. Everyone was like, woo, snapping, like hyping this man up. And I was like, yes, you should be there for your friends. But I think it would be being there for their friend to say, you know what, this one didn't hit so hard, because you're going to be on national television yet again. But it is the most talked about moment.
It is, and I will say, like, maybe it's just his passion, and like maybe we should respect that. Like, maybe Jeff took a continuing education class in rap music, and that's what inspired him. And like, I shouldn't be so rude. So, Jeff Probst, if you ever read my short stories, please be nice about it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Maybe we should be nicer. Because, okay, you know what would be a tragedy? If Jeff had dreamed of being a rapper his whole life and then he just kind of fell into this Survivor gig and was like, okay, I'll do this for a little while and then I'll pursue music. And now they're on season 50 and he's like, man, I haven't pursued my passion throughout my whole life. But
Yeah.
like the whole internet was talking about it. So part of me also thinks he's a genius because I'm like, that's how you got the people talking about it?
That's how you do it on Survivor, you know, at the end of the day. Um, should we talk about Rockin Grandmas?
Okay, so if you have not watched Jury Duty, it is an incredible show. I really, really loved it. Where we're going to be talking about season 2. But season 1 was incredible. It's one of my favorite seasons of television. We meet our protagonist, Ronald, who believes that he is doing jury duty and that there's a documentary happening. But every other person who is being filmed is an actor. And I believe that they were trying to put him in kind of awkward, weird situations to see how this person would react to the situations. And he is the nicest human being on earth and just responds so positively and so helpfully. And so you get to watch that really fun and funny journey for him. And then kind of the reveal at the end where they let him know that everyone else is an actor. The concept was really well received. And so they've gone on to make this season where we have our new protagonist, who this time is a temp who is going away on a company retreat with a whole cast of actors who, again, are fully bought in and know what's happening. There's only one person who does not realize that this is a scripted television show that they are on.
Yeah, I feel like the important things to note about this show as well are that a little bit different from Nathan Fielder, where I think sometimes it does feel like they're making fun of the people on the show. Like, to me, Jury Duty never felt like it was punching down on Ronald. And I think from this first episode we saw with Anthony, same thing. It doesn't feel like they're making fun of the person who's not aware that this is like a scripted show
Mhm.
with actors. And I think the other interesting thing about this show and why it's so successful is that they tend to cast these people who are just very normal, and it's the perfect straight man. It's the perfect insert for the audience. Like, we meet this Norman guy. He's 25. He's from Nashville. He's just a very mild mannered individual, clearly just a nice guy. And I think when you put someone like this into a show where everyone else is so kooky crazy and all of the things that are going on are just so over the top, it's kind of the perfect sauce, the perfect Rockin' Grandma's hot sauce of a show where we really get to see, you know, how far people will go.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Whereas on Nathan For You, when the shop owner is so normal and just like allows Nathan to do his thing and just accepts it and says, okay, yeah, let's go ahead with that. It's not the most exciting episodes. It's the episodes where Nathan has to really go to an extreme place to make sure that the episode is really entertaining. The Richards tip comes to mind, where the business owner, he said, okay, yeah, sure, let's go with that. And he has a few funny lines, but he's just very encouraging of the idea. He gives input here and there. But Nathan really had to go on a quite long side quest with a lot of other characters to really draw out that quirky atmosphere. Whereas Anthony Norman is a 25-year-old guy from Nashville. And he just seems so lovely, so sweet, so helpful. But I think that is really great for this role. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, okay. First things first, have you been on a company retreat?
I have. They do not get as weird as this. Even though it's the first episode and not that much strange things have happened, the company retreats I've been on have been very, very tame. How about yourself?
To be honest, mine were not that tame. Nothing that like crazy kooky happened, but when I used to work for a an electrolyte company that was based in America, they flew us all out one year. We used to do an all company meeting every year where they would take us to various places, and one year we went to Sedona in Arizona, and I remember one night we all got like really drunk, and it was at this like spa. Like it was at like a really nice like spa in the desert where there were other people there because our company wasn't that big. So there were like other normal residents, and we were all in this hot tub outside of the
Whoa.
rooms, and they like someone called security to come kick us out, and like our CEO had to come and be like, you guys need to like go to bed. Like we were children. And this is like
the CEO wasn't with you.
He wasn't with us in the hot tub, but he was like,
Mm-hmm.
guys, please. I will say our CFO did go out and buy us more beer when we had run out. So like not to throw him under the bus, but like there was some enabling happening. But I'd say that was probably like the craziest. They also we would like party like that, and then they'd make us wake up really early in the morning to work out. And it was like an unspoken rule that if you were out partying the night before, like you had to get to the workout too, or else you would be like ostracized by the company.
At least you did get free electrolytes. So
yeah. Which like we shouldn't have been hungover because we should have been like triple dosing.
Juiced up, yeah. Yeah, I guess we don't see how juiced up. We don't see how kooky it gets. We get a little bit of shenanigans from HR. And I will say at most of the companies that I've worked at, HR is like the person who does not keep anything together at all. Like it's always someone who kind of takes their role as a bit of a joke. And if something like actually happens, like doesn't really say anything or do anything. And I was like, yeah, this HR checks out.
Yeah, Kevin. I love Kevin.
Okay, I will say, I have known Kevins throughout my life. I've known multiple Kevins. None of them are called Kevy. Like, what Kevin out there is nicknamed Kevy?
Well, I think that's just part of Amy's whole shtick, right? Because we also hear
people. They're like, Kevy, I love you, Kevy.
Well, because like, Amy also calls Starbucks Starbies. So I think this might just be her thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's start at the beginning and we'll go through it. But I think that everyone hopefully you have the concept. Hopefully you can watch along with us now. We are going to go episode by episode, but they're doing drops in episode chunks of 3, I believe. So the first 3 are out, but we've only seen the first one.
Yeah. Okay. So we see Anthony. He kind of opens up the show, tells us a little bit about himself. He's been doing temp work for 2 years, and he's going to Rockin Grandmas, which is a hot sauce company, to work kind of as an assistant. And we meet him on the day before the company retreat is going to happen. So he goes to the office to essentially meet everyone, kind of figure out the lay of the land before he goes on this little company retreat that Kevy is planning.
Yeah, I also thought that HR was a weird role to plan the retreat, but I thought a lot about Kevin from HR was a big character this episode. I was like, why is Kevy from HR planning the company retreat? But he's very excited about it. He's even hired someone to help with it, which I've also never experienced, but maybe I've worked at, like the companies I've worked at are too small. Was anybody hired externally to come in just to help with the company retreat?
No, we usually would have like a board of people, like 3 or 4 people would volunteer to be like, we want to plan the retreat for next year. And it was like a coveted position because like everyone wanted to pick where we were going to go. Because like we had a high budget and it was like a whole fun thing and whatnot.
Yeah, working in marketing and events, normally team outings and retreats or like events kind of get put on marketing. So I feel like I've been very involved in planning like stuff that we've done with the team.
Yeah, I feel like we meet a bunch of people kind of very quickly. So obviously we meet Kevy, we meet PJ, who is the receptionist, or I'm not quite sure what PJ. His role is. Receptionist? What's his job?
I think he's the receptionist.
You love PJ. What would you want to try his wasabi octopus chips?
Okay, I don't like wasabi, but I would for bonding. You only have a finite amount of time to get to know everyone at the company. And so I would probably have taken a chip. How about you?
Yeah, I think I would have grabbed a chip. Why not? You know?
Yeah.
PJ seems like a fun guy. So I feel like
he seems very fun.
He seems like the kind of person you want to get on the good side of.
Definitely. Yeah. He does a good job acting as well, being like, oh, where should I look at the camera? Should it be over here? I was like, yeah, get him, PJ. I was like, excellent job. He seems like a very fun, big character who hopefully gets more involved later. He talks a little bit about, have you ever used a tongue scraper? I think I have like once, but it's not a big part of my life. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not scraping every day, but I recently have gotten very into flossing, much more so than I used to
Mm,
be. I feel like I used to be like a very delinquent flosser, and now I'm
mm,
like at least 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes every day, if I'm feeling spicy.
that's good. There's like one spot, like in like my second last tooth on like the left side, that I don't know if there's like a little space there, but I feel like I always have to floss that one spot. Stuff just gets stuck in it, but the rest of my mouth I think is fine.
It's immaculate.
Well, no, but I only like get in there if it feels like there's a problem. Like I do the
Fair.
normal stuff, but I had braces and I have back braces and everything, so it's a whole thing.
I
But
like the
uh,
normal stuff. I'm pretty vanilla with my oral care.
yeah. Brush twice a day, mouthwash sometimes. Sometimes we'll try to like scratch at the tongue, but I don't have a fancy tongue scraper. That's it.
The classics. Play
The
the hits, as they
classics.
say.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we also meet Jimmy very briefly, and we learn immediately that he's from the warehouse. We get a couple of other facts about him. He's been sober for 2,446 days, which is 6.7 years. I did the math on that. And
Thank you.
his first interaction is asking Kevin if he is allowed to forward a slightly sexual in nature email chain around to the rest of the office.
Okay, one, hilarious. This guy would be on Nathan for You.
Perfect.
Good of him to ask, I guess. Like, might as well go to HR. But yeah, is it sexual in nature? Like, really killed me. So Kevin is
Slightly.
unsure.
I'm also unsure. I was trying to think about what that could mean. What could slightly sexual in nature mean? Like that feels like so vague.
Mysterious and
Yeah.
alluring.
I would be like, yeah, actually forward it to me. I'm curious now. Maybe that's how they get you.
Do you think it's one of the emails that's like forward to 10 of your closest coworkers and get extra luck for the rest of the year?
That's not
Wink.
sexual in nature. It'd have to be like
There was a wink. I added a
oh.
wink at the end. It was slightly sexual in nature.
I thought it'd be like, yeah, like forward to 10 of your coworkers and like a hot lady will scrape your tongue for you later tonight.
Whoa. With her little grubby nails. Scrape it up.
Oh no.
My cat is getting, we don't have to go on too much of a tangent, but my cat is getting dental surgery in the morning. So I think her teeth are not long for this world, unfortunately. She's a little old lady. I'm gonna be like, okay, if you can keep any teeth, like if there's a good one in there, feel free to leave it. But I think maybe they might all be gone.
I thought you were going to ask me, like, if you had to keep one tooth, like, which one would you keep? I'm like, I really don't know.
Asking. No, I'm now, okay, new question. If you could only keep one tooth in your mouth, which tooth are you keeping? This was the better question.
I almost feel like I'm like, wouldn't it be better for them all to be gone? I feel like it would look worse to just have one. And gums are pretty hard.
Okay, looks are irrelevant at this point. This is all about utility. You're not looking good with one tooth.
Am I like selling them to some sort of like? Oh, okay. This isn't like a black market.
You didn't forward
situation?
your sexual in nature chainmail email. And so you've gotten the consequence of losing all but one tooth. You should have forwarded that email.
Fuck. Oh my God.
So, but the spirits are kind and giving, and they have said, Kelly, you may keep one tooth. Which tooth?
I feel like I would probably pick a molar, right? Or maybe like one canine. I'd probably keep like one canine. I also got a root canal recently and it was very expensive. So I don't know if I should keep that one.
Not that one. I feel like it's already damaged, So the benefits It's really only good if you have 2 teeth so they can do something together. So do you spend more time chomping through like apples and different things, or like biting up stuff at the back?
Well, I think I would just like cut apples, right? Like I think at that point it's like you're just cutting.
So you
up
want a molar at
apples.
the back.
I think I
and
want
you're
a
going to kind of
molar.
mash it against your gum.
Because like I feel like you can't eat salad without molars.
Is salad your favorite food?
No, but like
You're like, oh, I'm just eating so much salad all the time. How am I going to eat my salad with my one tooth? I'm just the epitome of health.
Well, because I famously have a toddler.
I've never been served a salad at your house.
Well, famously I have a toddler, and it's really hard for him. He like can't eat salad because he doesn't have all his molars yet.
He only wants croissants. So her son is the most sweet baby boy. And he's very intelligent, like the most intelligent 2-year-old. But last time I was at their house, and I do, to be fair, I do bring him croissants every time I come over. But now he like knows it. So he came up to me, and he was napping when I arrived. So we put the croissants in the kitchen, and he came up to me in the living room, and he's like, "Where are my croissants?" And I was like, "Oh, they're in the kitchen." But I was like, how did you know? I was like, I need to mix it up, throw things out there, get him something new. I'll get him a salad next time.
Keep him on his toes. My friend bought him some candy from like a Mexican store, and that was like crazy for him. And I was like, it's from Mexico. And he was like, now he's like, is everything from Mexico? And I'm like, no, like just that one candy you had, and then sometimes other stuff, but not everything.
Sometimes other things too.
I'm like, he doesn't like, he's really bad about understanding when stuff comes from different places. So he thinks everything comes from Costco and Mexico.
A lot of things in my household do come from Costco. Okay.
Me too.
But I digress. I think we would each keep one back molar and hope for the best.
Yeah.
If you're a dentist out there and you're like, this is obviously the wrong call, please let us know so that if this were to ever come up, we make the right decision.
I did almost lose 2 teeth in a biking accident. So that wasn't an issue.
I knew about this. I thought you meant recently.
No,
like, oh, no,
it was a while ago at this point, luckily.
Yeah.
Traumatic.
Yeah.
Traumatic work trip, actually. Traumatic company retreat.
Yes. Yeah. And you were in America too, so all the dental work and everything is a problem.
Shall we talk about Amy and her intro? But most importantly, I want to talk about her Starbucks order, which we learn is the same as Taylor Swift's.
Yes. Okay, I did not look up Taylor Swift's Starbucks order because I assumed you knew, and I also assumed it was something chai because she loves chai.
I wrote it here. It is a grande caramel non-fat latte. And then
okay, I was wrong.
Someone said she has been known to get a PSL as well.
Okay, I don't like PSLs, but we don't have to spend the whole time talking about Starbucks coffee orders, but they've made some wrong decisions. Also, saying Starbucks is a crime. That's Kevy and Starbucks. She's quickly becoming one of my least favorite characters just from that alone.
Especially when we learn that she's 40. Because at first I was like, oh, maybe she's like the actress. I feel like not that anyone like, oh, like she looks 40, but like she could have been younger to me. Like she could have been in her mid 20s or like early 30s. Yeah. So I thought maybe
she
like
looks fabulous.
She's just a little young. But then later in the episode, we learned that it was her 40th birthday. So anyway, yeah, Amy is who we're talking about, if we didn't say that. And it also quickly becomes obvious that there's something going on with Amy and Kevin. I thought they were fucking. We'll talk about this, I guess, in a little bit. But what was your first reaction to this couple?
Yeah, so to me, it seemed clear that they were trying to set Anthony up for something. Like when she came in. Also, it is weird to say to the HR person, like, oh, love you, Kevy, and stuff like that. And then when we learn, because they're talking about Amy, that Kevin is planning on proposing to her. So they set it up as if they're dating. And I was waiting for Anthony to say, like, oh, how long have you been together? Like, I felt like they were setting him up to inquire a little bit more and to realize that, oh, they are not together at all and are just friends. So I thought that they were trying to set Anthony up to go that direction. But he's just a big sweetie and is super enthusiastic and is excited to help him plan this proposal because we learned that Kevin wants to propose to Amy on this retreat. Is that a good place for a proposal?
I guess in general, like doing it on a trip with a group of people or doing it in front of all your coworkers.
I would say, but they do work together, so it is a little different because it sounds insane to propose to someone in front of your coworkers, but they do work together. And Anthony was saying like, oh, it really seems like you guys are like family and you're all very close here. But it does seem weird.
I mean, I could see how it could be cute for the right couple. Amy does kind of give off that vibe that she would like, you know, a big public proposal, like just the way that she kind of is carrying herself in the office and how she reacts with like the birthday cake, and like she just seems like she would like a more public proposal. So I see why that could be, you know, Anthony could be more comfortable being like, "Oh yeah, I think she'll really like that." Me personally, absolutely not. Like that would be bizarre. I feel like even if I was dating someone I worked with, I feel like I would still think it was bizarre.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And then also to do it on the work retreat where you then just have to keep hanging out with your coworkers for another week. Like maybe on the last day as you're leaving or something where you can kind of go away and be together or go celebrate or go do something. But it feels very weird to propose and then have to go and do a bunch of leadership building games and icebreakers and how are we going to bond and use all of this great information from our retreat to succeed as coworkers in the future. Like it feels like a weird transition.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, if I'm Dougie or something, I don't want to be around Amy and Kevy knowing that they're like gonna go bone after they just got engaged. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna look your coworkers in the face
weird.
And leave together and be all like hee hee ha ha, we just got engaged. It feels bizarre. Uncomfy.
Yeah, it's not the move. It's not the move.
Okay. My favorite character who I'm dying to talk about is introduced in this scene. And that is Doug's. So Doug is the CEO of Rockin Grandmas. And he has a son named Doug Jr. But we'll call him Dougie because that is just easier.
Dougie number 2, baby.
I'm obsessed with Dougie. We learned that he lived in Jamaica for a few months to get his band off the ground. He's just Chet Hanks.
Yes. He seems hilarious. And I think what's really important to characters like that, who, you know, he is going to come in, replace his dad. He's going to run the family business. He just seems really nice. To be honest, he seems like a really nice guy so far. Because I feel like kids like that or like Family Succession, like they were almost setting him up to be this really entitled, like unlikable person that people really don't want to be taking over the business. We get a little aside from 2 of the other coworkers who mentioned, you know, I don't know if he's fit to run the business, but it's like, at least he's really nice. And he and Anthony are getting along really well. They spend some time together, so much so that Anthony even mentions that his favorite person that he's met so far is Dougie, and he feels like they have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dougie is a bit of a himbo. And I think that's really like the only, and okay, he does seem to be a little bit of a cultural appropriator. He's a white guy, in case anyone didn't watch the episode, who moved to Jamaica and started a band called Jive Prophets. And seemingly does like some sort of reggae music. But at that aside, he does seem to just kind of be a himbo who likes music. And
I do think he's going to get a lot worse. Like he has to be the Michael Scott, not socially aware, says inappropriate things, makes people uncomfortable. Like he just so has to become that character. Even in some of the flash forwards of the episode, you see him saying a few inappropriate things that I'm just like waiting for it. So he's really nice this episode. I think partially to get Anthony a little bit more bought in.
Yeah.
And to get him to stay and want to be involved with this retreat and get him comfortable with all this new stuff and the documentary happening, I think that they kind of held off and did some more lower risk activities and pranks first. And I think it's just going to get ramped up and ramped up and ramped up.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's like the only way to make it believable for Anthony and to make it fun for the audience too.
Yeah.
Also, just in case we didn't mention it, I feel like we kind of did. We meet so many people in this episode. I feel like they'll all kind of come back in at later points. Like I think the main people for this one are kind of the Kevy and Amy story. But there might be people who we don't get to talk about as much for sure.
Yeah. I'm sure that they'll each get their own kind of storylines and they'll jump in, but really that's the focus.
Should we talk about the site of the retreat at Oak Canyon Ranch? It has great Google reviews.
I feel like oh, okay, tell me about it.
It's a 50-acre luxury private estate in the Santa Monica Mountains near Malibu, California. It honestly looks gorgeous. I did look it up on Google, and if anyone is looking to book a company retreat, looks like Oak Canyon Ranch could be a good option for you.
Ooh, hire us as temps to come and just like do stuff.
Oh my God, yes.
Honestly, I had never really thought about temp as being a job before, other than like Ryan the temp from The Office. Like, I've never thought about it. I've never worked with someone who's a temp. I've never had a company where that's what they do. So I've just like been very interested in that kind of career. Like what?
Yeah.
You just like show up and do random jobs. You're like a task rabbit almost.
Yeah. I think a lot of them are like through agencies. So I think you hire like a temp agency and then they place someone at your company to kind of do whatever random work. And I know, for example, like at my company right now, someone is going on family leave, but only for 3 months. So we have someone covering for him, but like it's only 3 months. No one's going to take that as a contract. So we just have like a temp from a creative agency who's going to do it.
Oh, very cool.
But yeah, okay. Since they're based in Malibu, we do learn that the last people who were hosting a retreat there were the Malibu Realtors. And we learned that they're monsters who swirled cocaine around
nightmare.
in the karaoke machine. Sorry, in the karaoke machine. No, they swirled cocaine around
in the cotton candy
machine.
The cotton candy machine. Which I didn't know how to Google it without sounding crazy, but like, is that a thing you can even do? Would that ruin it?
I like sort of looked it up.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, okay. I was like, I'm not gonna go be pulling up the periodic table of elements right now. I also don't know what the chemical breakdown of cocaine is, if I'm being honest. But I would suspect cocaine crystallizes at a different temperature than sugar. But it must be a water-based substance.
Do people eat cocaine?
That's a great question. I think so.
I don't think
a little.
So.
I think a little. People definitely like put it on their gums, right? Because that's like another way to make it like really get into your system really fast.
Man, one of us really needs to be cooler. Fuck. One of us needs to know this stuff.
Like, what have you done for the last 3 months? I'm like, I took a creative writing class. It's like, I'm going to become a firefighter. It's like, we should have been doing
drugs. Damn it. Yeah.
It's okay. But
if you love drugs, send us a note. Let us know. Is this a good idea?
If you're a chemist, I would love to know if this.
If you're a chemist or really fun.
Yeah.
I think I can't wait to the zoom in. Go back. No, go back.
For anyone on YouTube, really Meg got a new camera and it randomly zooms in on her face if she makes certain movements. But we haven't figured out exactly what movements trigger it. So she's just going to be really close up. Being
true. Go away.
Well, before we get into Kevin singing Hot, 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 do you want to talk about ketchup versus hot sauce?
Yes. So Dougie won, the original Dougie. is very excited about hot sauce, which like hot sauce is really big. He mentions that, it's the biggest condiment. It's way better than ketchup. And, there's not a ketchup show. There's a hot sauce show, which, we love hot ones and used to be super into it. But we also love ketchup. So I thought we were an excellent choice to decide, is hot sauce better than ketchup?
I think the thing is, like, what do I use more? Probably hot sauce. I feel like I put hot sauce on a lot more items. I don't put ketchup on everything. Like, I'm not going to put ketchup on a taco, but I'm going to put hot sauce on it.
Well, yeah.
However, I think I would be more upset if ketchup disappeared from the earth than hot sauce. But what do you think?
I feel like there was like a period of time I got to keep my hands down until I figure that out. I got to control these puppies. I feel like I had a phase where I just put hot sauce on everything and was very into it. But I think I might agree where there's like those 2 or 3 items like that I don't want to have to experience without ketchup, and I'm mainly eating just for ketchup. But it's not too many things. But hot sauce I would say is more versatile. But I think Big Ketchup has the market cornered. There's no like little ketchup brands that are sneaking in there that are able to run a real business. Maybe a few shops, but I haven't heard of any where there are so many hot sauce companies that are doing really interesting and fun things. But I don't know if there's that versatility for ketchup. There's kind of the main big brands, but I've never seen or heard of or even bumped into like smaller batch homemade ketchup.
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple more like niche ketchup brands, but you're right.
Remember when they made ketchup purple and all that stuff?
Oh my God. And green. Oh, what a good time.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to eat that, but it looked incredible.
They like sponsored my school's barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, so we like
Purple
only
or green?
had like purple ketchup and like I think orange hot dog buns. So
really an awful combination.
yeah,
One of the least appealing food colors is probably
it was
purple
not
and
appetizing.
orange. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think that it improved my eating experience in any way. Okay, we did also meet a new character shortly after we see the hot scene. We meet Claire, who works in IT/web design. She's a remote employee, and she hasn't met anyone in real life. And this is where we learn that Claire thought Doug was dying, and that's why it was his last retreat.
Honestly, I feel like this is something that is actually very relatable, that is going to happen more, where people are going to be meeting remote workers for the first time at events like this. And so I think Claire's like a really funny addition. She had a really great pan to camera where she was looking at him because Dougie had just coughed. Or I guess we could call Doug and Dougie. So Doug is like Doug Sr., where he coughed because she thought he was dying. So I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah, it seemed like she maybe ad-libbed that line when they're all sitting together. That's the vibe that I got based on everyone's kind of reactions, but I could be wrong.
It would be really funny if they did.
We also get a rundown of some of the events that are coming up. Personally, I'm the most excited for the Doug Cathalon. Can't wait to see what that's about.
Yeah, I really don't know where they're going to take it, because we started off so high with a secret event, which was the proposal. Wasn't on the calendar. Lieutenant Fun. We have a lot of like fun little gags starting. Also, everybody has necklaces with chili peppers on it. So
yes, things
are getting turned up.
I also read an article that was talking about the fact that, anyone who hasn't seen season 1 of Jury Duty, one of the big gags is that James Marsden is in the show, but he's not playing someone. He just is James Marsden, who's been called to jury duty. And in the article I was reading, they were talking about how it would be much harder to have any kind of celebrity cameo for season 2 because, like, it would just make it too obvious. But I was debating if it's possible that they get someone from the Red Hot Chili Peppers to come in as a cameo.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Or if they had like it is a small company though, right? So it's
Yeah.
hard to tell like how much money this company is making, but having like a Food Network personality, a Flavor Town hero, Guy Fieri scenario would be incredible. Now, last season with Ronald, there are some smaller actors and actors that people do recognize who come on these shows. So last season, there were a few actors who I actually knew. And one of them, who was supposed to be a more long-term character, Ronald had mentioned that he had seen the show this person was on. And so they phased that actor out really quickly and kind of he wasn't selected for jury duty. So there are actors that are used that could give it away as well, especially if they're just pretending to be a normal person coming to the company retreat. That would be way weirder. So I don't know how they're doing this background check to make sure that they aren't following or haven't seen any of the shows that these actors have been on, or just making sure that it's some pretty small time or less known actors. I think I saw, is Lisa Gilroy in a future episode? I think I've just been like watching a lot of her content recently, so maybe I'm getting that mixed up. But I do think that there are some bigger actors who come in future episodes. So it'd be interesting if you recognize anyone and how they pivot with that.
Yeah, I read a thing where they said that he apparently was like, "Oh, I don't watch a lot of TV." I also feel like
That's
because they
helpful.
cast him from Nashville, it's probably pretty helpful because I think Ronald was in California. So I feel like if you're even like in the LA area, you're maybe more likely to have some exposure. But I think with him being not from LA and then also apparently he doesn't watch a lot of TV, probably higher likelihood he won't recognize any of these people.
Okay. Yeah, Lisa Gilroy, I'm pretty sure does show up, which I'm like a little obsessed with her at the moment. So I feel like I'm like, how could you not recognize her? She's so funny and on everything. But yeah, I guess she's like on a lot of like YouTube internet things.
I was like, oh, she's Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't think I would recognize her, to be honest, now that I'm looking at her.
Well, I've just gone down a bit of like a very important people rabbit hole. I've been watching a lot of podcasts where she's a guest because she's just like big, silly, and very fun. So it'll be interesting. We'll see if he recognizes anyone or not.
I didn't realize she was on The Zone.
We could do a whole Lisa Gilroy spinoff. But I could talk about her a lot. She's so funny. She's so great. But I'm really excited to see her in this project.
That's for the next unrelated Nathan Fielder episode.
Yes. Very Important People is very funny. If anybody needs like a short kind of clip show to watch that's just like fun and relaxing and low stress.
Okay, do we want to just jump right in and talk about the proposal?
Yes, I do want to talk about the hats because it comes up immediately in the proposal. So Kevy decides he's going to be Lieutenant Fun, which is good, I guess. Anthony is like clearly
captain.
I don't know. Is he Captain Fun? He's Lieutenant Fun, right?
But why wouldn't he be Captain Fun?
Is he Captain Fun?
I'm going to be honest, like I'm not a seaman, so I'm not 100% sure what the correct verbiage would be. We learned a lot about pilots last time. I guess maybe I need to learn more about seafaring. Seamen.
The hierarchy of both sea and entertainment. Gesture is. I learned it.
Okay, I was doing some research while we were dealing with that.
Yeah, Kevin is Captain Fun and Anthony is supposed to be Lieutenant Fun.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yes, but Anthony doesn't get a hat, and it is devastating, and he should be devastated.
He shouldn't be Lieutenant Fun. Apparently, he should be First Officer Fun. Or Chief Mate Fun.
First Officer Fun. It kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I like that because I was looking and I'm like, what is a lieutenant? Lieutenant is for the Coast Guard. versus like on a ship. Anyway, I really it was really bothering me. But I only had looked it up now. I didn't look it up before.
It
only
wasn't
started
bothering me
bothering me.
before. It's only
It
because
only
I got
started
it wrong.
bothering me.
So we have Captain Fun, who has decided that he's going to propose to Amy, which he does pick a beautiful location. They discuss that he should not keep his hat on, but he does, right? Which is
Yes. That is the discussion. He overrules the choice and decides to keep it on.
Yeah, so during this proposal, which we learn is a proposal, and Amy is learning in real time that it is a proposal, we learn that they made a deal like one night. Because the other thing is, like, they are social, like they do hang out outside of work, but they had made an agreement that if when they both turn 40, they're still single, they're going to get married, which I feel like is a classic deal. You know, I think 30 is what a lot of people pick, which used to feel old, but now 40 does sound more reasonable for this deal. They also made this deal as adults.
I feel like 30 is really young. I don't know if anyone's
Now
doing
I
30.
do. Now I do. But when I was younger, I think that the classic deal was like, oh, if I'm single when I'm 30, like we should get married. Like people just say that.
Maybe.
But now that I am past 30, that does seem insane. And
Yeah.
40 does seem more reasonable.
40 seems like a better choice. If anyone's thinking of putting together one of these deals, like you should be doing 40.
Yes. Don't propose at a company retreat, though. So I now think, so they're clearly close to each other. They have made this agreement. And so Amy seems to take this very, not poorly, but just seems very surprised by it. And is like, oh, but we've never even been on a date. Like we have hung out, but like all my girlfriends have been there. I think that if he didn't propose and if he had said, kind of pulled her aside and asked her on a date, I do think she would have said yes. I think that there is some level of interest there and that jumping to a public proposal was too far, even though they had this discussion. I think it was more jokey in nature. And if he had just said like, hey, I'd love to take you on a date, I think it would have actually gone over kind of well.
I'm not sure if I agree completely.
I feel like I always think people are like into it and you're always like, no. I'm always wrong.
I think I famously thought that Dougie from The Curse and Asher were gonna fuck. So
that was okay. That was insane. That was like one of the worst takes you've ever had. And I've had some fucking awful takes. But that one was truly bad. No, you can't stand by it. He let him die.
It was an accident. It was an accident, Meg. Okay, but I do think I could see where you're coming from. My vibe was like Amy seemed more. First of all, I think that this like really turned her off. Like I think there's no way there can be a reconciliation. Like imagine how awkward this is going to be at the office after the company retreat is over. Yes, I understand that these are not real people, but if this was real, that would be crazy to have to go back to.
Well, then he does a bad job of playing it off as a joke, which he possibly could have done if he had been a little bit better at it. Like, so he proposes. Amy is like, kind of, what are you talking about? No, this doesn't make sense. So he immediately plays it off and pretends that it was a joke and takes the ring and is like, oh, this is fake anyway, and throws it into a bush. He is then pretending it's a joke, but then immediately pulls Anthony aside and says, you know, that clearly wasn't a joke and I'm heartbroken and I need to get out of here, and proceeds to leave, which makes it seem like not a joke. And he gets away in his car and he tasks Anthony with becoming Captain Fun. He sends him to go and collect like the $8,000 ring he bought. And he drives away in a car that has like these cans tied to the end of it that are just clickety clanging as he drives away. Because again, what was the plan? She says yes, and you're driving away from the company retreat together? That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. I do also like that Marjorie, who is the contact from the Oak Canyon Resort, she uses a confetti popper to say congratulations on the joke, which I thought was an incredible
That was so
moment as
good.
well.
That was
Super
really good.
funny. Yeah, I mean, Kevin is like, tell them I had diarrhea or that I got subpoenaed. It's like, Kevy baby. I don't know how Anthony didn't like just lose his mind laughing right there.
Yeah, and also he is HR.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, but
shouldn't you specifically not be proposing to people at company events?
And we did get confirmation that Amy never sent him any sexts or even tasteful nudes, which I think was an important thing to add.
Yeah, so Amy's talking to some of the other coworkers and the girls and is trying to explain, like, nothing's ever happened between us. I'm shocked. Yes, we kind of joked about this, but, we've never even been on a date. And the response of, you've never even sexted was very funny.
So good.
As if that's
I think
the bare minimum.
Claire's low-key my MVP of the episode.
Claire's very funny.
Okay, but how do we think Anthony handles this entire situation, from the fake proposal, dealing with the fallout of the fake proposal, and then having to come back and tell everyone what has occurred and cover for Kevy?
So he decides to go with family crisis, family emergency,
Yes.
which I think is a easy out. Now, what I thought was interesting from the show's perspective is they almost gave him an out.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, they said, if you want to leave, this isn't your work retreat. Do you even want to have to deal with this and come up with an excuse and run this meeting? So they get him really bought in at that point where he's making a decision of, what, I'm going to be Captain Fun. I'm going to save this retreat. I'm going to be really involved now because I don't know why. I'm not sure why he decided to do this, but I thought that was such a risky thing to ask him to do. And I assume if he said, no, you're right, Dougie would have run up and tried to convince him otherwise, and there would have been some sort of intervention. But it was very interesting that they even presented that as an option to him.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting as well. I feel like it helps the audience a lot to be even more bought in Anthony as a character. Just seeing the fact that he's like, no, I want to stay. I feel like it really helps us connect with him even more, because what a nice guy to be like, no, I'm still going to stay and help out.
Well, he might need the pay as well. It might be like, well, if I leave, am I not getting paid for this job? And I've already done all this and it seems like a fun work retreat. He goes and he finds the ring that was thrown into a bush, which is great. So he's kind of done job number one. And I guess we'll see. I feel that Kevy needs to come back later. Or I wonder if they're fully making Anthony replace him as running this whole retreat, because that would be crazy.
Yeah, I hope Kevy comes back. I feel like we need to get closure on this whole situation that isn't just him running away. We see, Anthony tells them, everyone, we're going to have a good time. He's been promoted to Captain Fun. Dougie leads a conga line. And we kind of end the episode with Anthony doing a confessional to the camera, basically saying that he's feeling positive. He thinks he's going to be able to make the retreat a success.
Yeah, I thought that it was great. We learn that they're having fun. They're drinking on this retreat. They're having dirty Shirleys. They're having a good time. They're doing the conga line. It's a party. So
yeah,
I feel like it was a nice introduction for Anthony. Again, funny things happened, but nothing so crazy that you would think. I mean, the proposal is kind of crazy, but somehow they reined it in enough where Anthony has decided to stay. I think something I want to talk about is there were a few scenes where they were acting as their character when Anthony wasn't even around, that I thought was a little strange. And I don't really understand the point of that.
I had the same question because I can't remember if this was the case last season. Did they do their like confessionals in character as well?
I don't remember. I think really Ronald was the only one doing confessionals. I don't
Okay.
remember other people doing confessionals. I think there was like if they were still acting, even if Ronald wasn't directly beside them, like if they were in the room, but also this group always moved around together because they were a
Yeah.
jury. So it was
Yeah.
always happening. They did. Oh, actually, you know what? They did have scenes where they were acting and Ronald wasn't there because I remember the whole soaking thing. Like they
Oh,
filmed
yeah.
and
Yeah.
he wasn't there. They could have just described it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it's for us where they're setting up different characters and having us learn about them in that scripted way. But it does feel a little funny that this is all about tricking Anthony, where why are we seeing you when you're not even near Anthony putting on this persona? But it's probably so that we can get a better picture of who's who, what's happening, who is each character playing. Like it is still a TV show, so maybe we want to be more bought into the fact that this is a company retreat and it's helping us live in this world and we're getting bought in at the same time as Anthony. But it does make me think, oh, like what a waste if Anthony's not there. It almost makes me wonder why they're doing it. It would be as if Nathan were acting, well, I guess Nathan acted as himself in character sometimes when he was alone and would like be talking to himself and stuff on the show.
Yeah, I feel like Nathan's a bit of a different case though, because it's like he's putting together the entire product, and
Mm-hmm.
Nathan is like such a, I don't know. His whole thing is like, where does the character end and Nathan begin? Whereas like these people are literally playing a character. Like I'm sure the actor playing Dougie isn't like that in real life.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it definitely feels a little weird. It feels very much like we're watching The Office right now. I don't know if
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you got that vibe too. I don't know if just the
Mm-hmm.
characters, maybe like the archetypes that they've picked. It would be
Yeah,
fun actually to
definitely.
try and map the archetypes that they have in the show.
Yeah, Amy's definitely Pam. Kevin is
Yeah.
not Jim. And that's
No.
all we've got. Well,
Yeah.
Dougie will be Michael Scott. Doug is maybe like Robert California.
Yeah.
We'll see what he's like. Yeah, we could probably map that. But the thing is, Anthony the Temp would then be Ryan. So
Yeah. Yeah.
not by
But
character, but by position.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like it, I guess, because otherwise, and I guess part of it might be that Anthony isn't giving them enough of a like fiery confessional and that kind of thing. So they need
Mm-hmm.
more content. I'd guess that that might be the reason behind having the
Mm-hmm.
actors doing confessionals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think especially in the first few episodes, and we can track it as it goes. Again, building this world for us is probably very important. Remembering characters' names, learning their personalities, figuring out who's who. It just wouldn't happen if we're only shown scenes from Anthony's perspective and how people act around him. So I guess that's what it needs to happen. But it does feel a little strange. But I think that over time it'll feel more natural.
Yeah, I always want to hear all of the actors after this is
Mm-hmm.
over. Like, I can't wait to hear from them when the season's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that'll be really fun.
Okay, the next episode is called Team Building. I didn't look up the little blurb about it, and this episode was called Onboarding. I don't know if we ever mentioned that.
I don't think so. Maybe, maybe
Not
not.
that it
I think we were
matters.
talking about like Jeff rapping in Survivor.
um, but yeah, if you want to be a part of our team, you can follow us on Instagram at NathanForUsPod or TikTok at NathanForUsPodcast. You can send us an email, nathanforuspodcast@gmail.com. We still have not figured out how we are getting emails from people who think we're Nathan Fielder.
It is very
But
funny, but I do feel bad. If someone
yeah,
writes us something where they seem like so hopeful to talk to him, or there's like this sense of urgency, I do respond and say, like, hey, that's very exciting. Like, I'm sure, like I'll comment on a little bit on what they said, and then I'll let them know, like, we're just a podcast. We have nothing to do with him. We cannot get in contact with him. But people email us kind of often thinking we're Nathan Fielder, which is funny.
Yeah, and we used to be like the Google Gemini or Google AI generated response. When you Googled like Nathan Fielder email, we came up in the AI summary as like his email. But I think people were like, no, that's not right. So now the last time I looked, it said like, don't be fooled by misinformation. NathanForUsPodcast@gmail.com is not Nathan Fielder's personal email. It is a podcast run by fans.
Not that we ever tried to make people think that
No.
we were. It's called NathanForUs@gmail.com. This is Lucy. Classic Lucy Cam. She's getting her little teeth, hopefully. Why doesn't the camera zoom in on her? The one time I need it to zoom.
I was going to say this might be the last time we see her with all her teeth.
She's got a few front ones that I think are not rotten and are like healthy. Like they're all okay. We'll learn more once they get in there. Like her gums are just really red and she's kind of old, and we'll learn more tomorrow. But she's just a happy little lady. She just wants to nap all day, and she's going to get so much wet food and treats and everything. So hopefully she's just like super happy about it.
Is there anywhere you want people to follow you, Meg, or anything you have going on that you want to promote?
Just this podcast. Listen to our old episodes of this podcast. You know, we asked a few fan questions throughout this. Like, if you could only keep one tooth, which would it be? Let us know. There's things I'm genuinely curious about. Do people mix cocaine and cotton candy? Is that a weird thing to do?
Tell us.
We'd love to know. Rap, are you watching Survivor? I am doing the Survivor official, like, pool, which is different from a normal pool that you do. You pick 3 contestants from each tribe, the original tribes. And then you get points based on like if they cry, if they get an idol, like all these different things. So let me know who your winner pick was. If you just want to like yap about anything, you can message us on any of the platforms. Let us know what you think of Jury Duty Company Retreat, episode 1.
Yeah, I also am doing a pool for Survivor, and I'm doing very, very poorly.
Who's your winner pick?
I picked Aubrey. How about you?
Ooh, I picked Camilla. I feel better about my chances than yours.
Aubrey has an idol.
Yeah, but Aubrey has a lot of enemies, it seems like. She's not being very friendly for whatever reason.
It is. She is being a little rough, but I feel like she always starts out a little bit chaotic. I'm obsessed with Emily Flippin right now, and I've never watched Survivor. I've never watched Survivor and been like, wow, like that's me. Like if I were playing Survivor, I'd be literally doing exactly what she's doing.
She's extremely chaotic and it's driving me up the wall, but I did pick her. She's one of the 3 I picked from that tribe. Rick Devens, Christian, and Emily. So they're all still in the game.
Wow.
I'm hoping for the best. It is stressing me out a little bit what she's choosing to do, but I can't believe she's still in. I hope she stays.
That's my girl. My girl. If anyone wants to follow my book reviews on TikTok, I did start posting them again at Kelly W. That's like Kelly, Kelly, the word double, and the word you, YOU. And I've been reviewing a couple books. I'm trying to get back into it, guys. It's tough.
Yes, go follow Kelly. Learn all about the fun books you should be reading. Her reviews are super fun, even if you don't read along. She reads all sorts of wacky stuff that I like to get like little synopsis of. Like I love it when you pop on other podcasts because like maybe I wouldn't have read that book, but I like hearing about it. So
man, I would actually like if anyone that listens to us posts a book podcast, like please, I'm dying. I'm always dying to talk about books.
I just read all of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Like there's 8 books or 7 books. Yeah, I just read all of them, which I did not have the time for, but it just overwhelmed me.
He's coming out with a new one too.
Yeah, he has a new book, Operation Bounce House. I think that's completely unrelated. And then the next in the series is also coming out very soon. So I just threw on the audiobooks, and anytime I had a thought, instead I put it on an audiobook instead to just have like no real thoughts. But it was very fun. There were Dirty Shirleys. That was like a key component in the show. They'd go to the club, and this cat would get Dirty Shirleys, who was also like shooting lasers out of her eyes. So it's a whole thing.
Honestly,
it's very fun.
I'm like, we should be ordering Dirty Shirleys. I'm like inspired.
I
really would love
back?
to have one.
I've never had one.
Like, we should bring. I mean, I used to drink Shirley Temples all the time as a child, but I feel like we should be bringing Dirty Shirleys back into the zeitgeist,
into the mix. I've never had one. I assume it's delicious. Next time we go out, we'll order one and see if the bartender is like, yes, this is a reasonable thing for like you to order, or we'll just make some at home. So we'll give it a go.
Perfect.
Okay.
Plan.
This has been Kelly and Megan on your side.